Many capable, smart professionals get overlooked, not because they're not ready, but because their behavior doesn't signal authority. Remember, competence is silent, behavior is loud. You must actively shape how you are perceived with your behavior. So today's presentation is going to be from overlooked into undeniable. I will give you 3 behavior shifts that can transfer your career and how you are seen by other people. I'm Maria Pennanen. I am the founder of Mindclip. I am an executive coach. I am also an author. I wrote the book, How to Fuck Up Your Startup. And currently I'm writing my second book, which is about authority shift, the theory that we are talking today. So why is it important for us to understand authority? Obviously, it has to do with that first sentence that I mentioned, that many people get overlooked because they behave in the wrong way. You could say that the research shows that 65% of professional women are interrupted in key meetings. Women receive 20% less credit for ideas. And lastly, if you even are an introvert, you will miss on your bonus pay. 30% is a big number. Competence is silent, behavior is loud. You can only change the perception of other people of you by changing your behavior. But the good news is that you can do it. The first shift is the agenda anchor. It's a simple thing to adapt in everyday life. It clearly claims a conversation up front. And what do you need to do? I give you here a simple sentence. In the next 3 minutes, I'll summarize the results, I outline 2 actions, and I ask for your decision. With this simple sentence, we prevent interruptions. It gives the listeners a very clear roadmap what is going to come, and it increases the recall of our story. A task you can do at home. Think of a 15-second agenda anchor that you can already start using today. How can you communicate clearly what you want people to pay attention to? And how do you then do it? The next shift has to do, how do I precisely give that anchor? The second shift is called the headline language. And what does it mean? We see headlines everywhere. We see them on newspapers, in news, in social media, wherever. And they're based on the concept that you present facts, you present evidence, and this way you can create an impact. And the important factor is that you don't use more than 12 words. You could say a weak version would be, I think maybe we could look at the churn. A much better and stronger version is to say, churn dropped 12%, and here's why. When you speak in this way, you give people the evidence that you know what's going on. They are going to pay attention. You caught their attention. The third simple behavior shift is presence reset. Many times, if you are not very used to presenting to people, and if you are talking about something that is important to you, you are going to feel a bit insecure. So what you can do with this simple reset is to set your mind and be, the best version of yourself when you need to present. What you do is you ground your feet under your hips. You put your shoulders back and you take 3 slow breaths. And by doing this, you can reset yourself for the speech that you need to make or the point you need to make. And 1 second silence before you say anything gives this kind of authority, makes people feel that you're going to say something very important. So use pauses when you speak, when they are due. If you are really stressed before an important meeting, you can use a system that the Marines have been using for decades, and it's very simple to do. That you start by inhaling for 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds, and you breathe again for 4 seconds. You repeat this 4 times. And when you do it, you will notice that your heart rate goes down, you feel much more confident, you feel much more calm. And that is a tool for you to use to reduce your stress before an important call, important meeting. So use it. One little homework I can give to you. Let's say this is like a coach in a pocket, because the only thing you need is a mobile phone that has a video function. And I call it the record, review, and refine. You record a 6 seconds, a 1 minute intro or an idea. An intro could be how you introduce yourself. How do you present yourself to other people? It's very important to be able to present yourself in a way that is believable, that's authentic. It can be also an idea that you need to present in a meeting. So you can prepare, you can practice this, or in an important call, maybe with the client, you can practice it with this method. After you recorded this 1 minute talk, what do? First, you watch it muted. That is, you turn the sound off and you note your posture, your gestures. How does it make you feel looking at yourself talk? The third step is that you listen to it eyes closed, or you turn your phone upside down and you listen to it. You note the pattern. You know if you are using a lot of filler words, such as so, and whatever those are for you. And you note the pace. How are you speaking? Is it a good pace? Is it a bit fast? Is it a bit too slow? And once you have done this, you look at the video as a whole. What kind of impression does it give to you? Are you happy with it? Is there certain things that you would want to change, you want to improve? And now you have a simple tool to check. Okay, this thing bothers me the most. Maybe it's the filler words. Maybe it's some strange movements you do when you talk. Maybe you don't articulate. So you pick one change and you can start applying it immediately. As I mentioned, voice is very important. This rule of 55, 38, and 7, meaning 55 of everything that we do, how people pay attention to us, is our behavior. How do we show up? How do we dress? How do we move with our body? Our gestures, all that. But 38% is our voice. So it's an important part for us to pay attention to. It doesn't mean that you have to become a different person, but it does mean that you have to shift the way you show up. If you are not happy how people see you today, you need to do something about it. And 5 little things that you can pay attention to. You can check your video, also the one that you just made, and see how is your articulation. Are you finishing your consonants? Are you pronouncing clearly? Very important part. If you are not a native speaker in German, in English, whatever language, but also when you are speaking to people, they need to understand what you say. So very important to articulate, speak clearly. The pace, don't speak too fast. Especially, like I said, if you're speaking to people that are foreigners, they need to be able to understand what you say. So record it, you'll have your 60 seconds, calculate how many words you use. Then we have the headline talk already. So we understand that sentences should not be too long, max 12 words. And you can present yourself very clearly. Watch out for those filler words, like I mentioned, just, so whatever they are, and check how many you do. We all do them every now and then, it's fine. But if you start repeating them too often, people start paying more attention to your filler words than what you have to say. And are you using pauses? It doesn't mean that you have to have weird pauses too long, but they are very important when you want to make a point. You say something important, you pause, and that already wires our brain to think, what did the person say? It must have been something super important because they stopped. Use this tool also. And a little recap on how can it help you, reach those goals that you have using these 3 very simple behavior shifts. One of our coaches, Catherine, she was a sales manager, and she realized that she was not really taken seriously in her company. And she also understood during her coaching that it had to do with her way of communicating, being too polite, using all these maybe, I think words that does not convey authority. does not convey expertise. What happened? She applied all these 3 shifts and she was able to negotiate a major deal. And when she was able to do that, she could shift from being this invisible, competent person into this visible person who could show with their behavior what are they capable of doing. And her boss also saw it, and she was promoted to director within 4 months. Becoming visible means that you have to shift your behavior. You have to become more willing to show and talk and tell what you have achieved, what you have done. There's a little tool you can use. You can do this kind of self-audit about your shifts, let's say those possible things that you need to change. And very quick self-scan script is here. Think about it. Use this scale from 1 to 3. You can calculate these things with your fingers. These will be only going to have 3 sentences. 1 sometimes happening to you, 2 often, or 3, it always happens. And the first thing to think about, do you hedge your ideas with words like maybe, just, I think? Grade yourself. Second, do you wait for gaps to speak in meetings and they never come? Because somebody else is always willing to jump in, even in the middle of conversation. And that moment when you want to say something never comes. Rate yourself again, 1 to 3. And the last one, do your ideas often resurface? Meaning you present something, no big reaction from anyone. And a couple of minutes, 5, 10, somebody else presents exactly the same thing, maybe with the different words. And it becomes like, wow, what an amazing thing. And this other person gets the credit of the idea. Rate yourself, sometimes, often, always. And now when you calculate your points, how many fingers, was it enough with one hand? Then you're fine. But if you have to use more than one hand, you know already. If you scored 5 or higher, these behavior shifts will quickly change how other people perceive you. So if you just start implementing them, understanding that it's important, anchor when you're saying something, using headline language and being present, showing authority in your communication. So what did we learn today? We learned that these kind of behavior shifts can change, can transform you, can transform how other people see you, and they can start seeing you as an authority. They can start seeing you as an expert, as some, word of the next raise, the next job, that they want to become your client. They understand that this person can give that what they promise, can provide value. First one was clearly anchor the agenda to prevent interruptions before you get your message told. Use headline language, facts, evidence, impact, to speak with this kind of clarity and power. Third, reset your presence with simple, powerful body language shifts. With these small adjustments, you can have a dramatic impact on your whole career and your future of whatever you want to become. For those who know that I can't do it alone, I've tried, but those changes don't come. Understand, most people, when they want to have a real shift, they take a coach. Research shows that make a proper, real behavior change takes from 3 to 6 months. And our program lasts 12 weeks. And this is a time when all of our clients can see a proper change. So if you're interested, please do book an authority clarification call with me. You can see the QR code here. Just book it, and during this call, we can see what is your problem and if my way of coaching can help you to reach the goals that you have. Let's shift together.